everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. I'm your host Saber Jungle, and today I'm going to be doing another Call of Duty commentary. And for today's commentary, I'm going to be doing a weapon guide on the M1941 Johnson rifle here in Call of Duty WW2 multiplayer. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over three separate things. For one, I'm going to be going over the stats of the M1941, as well as I'm then going to be moving over to showing off the created class of the M1941 that I have for today's video, and then I'm going to be talking about how you should actually play with this created class to use it the best. So now that we got the intro out of the way, let's actually dive right into the commentary. So starting with the stats of the M1941, the damage profile of the M1941 Johnson is 30 damage up close, dropping off to 22 damage at distance. Weapon class is of course a rifle. Magazine size is 25 rounds and 37 with extended mag. It is unlocked at level 1, which means it's actually one of the first rifles that you unlock in Call of Duty WW2 multiplayer. Starting ammunition is 25 rounds in the magazine and 75 in reserve. Maximum ammunition is 25 rounds in the magazine and 150 in reserve. Reload time is 2.5 seconds. Rate of fire is 800 RPM and 851 with rapid fire, as well as the fire mode is fully automatic. So what we can actually see from the stats, it means that the M1941 is a low to medium damage rifle with a high fire rate, which actually means that it does actually play like a submachine gun in some cases. So now that I got the stats out of the way, I'm going to be moving over to the created class I have for the Johnson rifle. So as you can see over on your screen right now, I actually have the created class, and as you can see, of course I have the M1941 Johnson. I'm actually using the Cook variant of it, which is actually an epic variant of the Johnson, and my first attachment I actually have a sight on it, and that's just because I personally like the sight over the iron sights of the Johnson rifle. And if you want to, you don't have to actually use a sight, however that's just my own personal preference. I have a foregrip on the rifle, and that's just because due to its high fire rate, I noticed that the recoil can be a little bit unstable, and I do want to have that foregrip so that way it's a lot easier to use this rifle at medium to long range, as well as I have extended mag, and that is just because since this rifle actually has a very high fire rate of 800 rounds per minute, it means that you're going to be burning through your magazine. So that's how come I do have extended mag on this rifle. I am going to be using the infantry division, and that's just because I want to be able to have the bayonet on my Johnson rifle. My basic training is going to be hustle because, again, like extended mags, I want to be able to reload extremely quickly, and my secondary weapon is going to be the machine pistol with extended mags. This is my own personal preference. I personally like the machine pistol over any of the other pistols in the game. However, if you like the M1911 or the P08, then feel free to go ahead and have that as your secondary weapon, and my lethal is going to be the sticky grenade. So now that I got the stats as well as the created class out of the way, I'm going to be moving over to how you should actually play with this weapon. Now, due to the fact that it actually has pretty low to medium damage and a very high fire rate, you can actually play with it kind of like how you would use a submachine gun, being that if you actually get into close range situations, you can actually use this rifle effectively against submachine guns, as well, since it's actually a rifle and it does have medium damage as opposed to some other rifles in the game. You can use it at medium range. When it comes to long range, it's going to be a little bit more tricky due to the fact that the damage really drops off, and at those longer ranges, you're going to have to be putting 4 and maybe in some cases 5 shots into the person, as well as the recoil is about moderate for rifles. And overall, I would highly recommend that you stay in between close to medium range situations with this rifle. I do think that the M1941 Johnson rifle is a really good weapon here in Call of Duty World War II. It's a shame that it's overlooked because of course there are better rifles in the game that a lot of people like, such as the STG-44, the FG-42, and the BAR. If you do like using rifles in Call of Duty World War II and you want to switch it up a little bit, I would highly recommend that you go and use the Johnson rifle. It's a really underrated weapon here in Call of Duty World War II, and who knows, you might like it. So yeah, that's gonna conclude today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe for more Call of Duty World War II videos like this one. So yeah, that's gonna conclude today's video. I hope to see you in the next one.